When the 5-year-old case of James Harper's disappearance finally came to light, it stunned many with its inexplicability. An ordinary 36-year-old man set out on a short trip across the Caribbean Sea. No one could have imagined that his yacht would vanish from the radar without a trace. On a clear and sunny day when everything was going according to plan, everything suddenly changed. The connection with the vessel was lost without any warning, not a single distress signal or the slightest sign of trouble. Rescue teams scoured the area, but it was as if the yacht had dissolved into the sea. Meanwhile, at the very edge of our world, James Harper found himself on an unknown land, an island that appeared on no map. No one could explain how he ended up there. His search only ended 5 years later, when a passing fishing schooner happened to dock in the coastal waters. And as if that wasn't enough, after his rescue, the man faced a new mystery. The island had literally vanished. Open sea now reigned where it once stood. No traces, no signs that it had ever existed. How did James end up on that island, and why was no one able to find him all those years? There are more questions than answers. The island was shrouded in mystery, and events unfolded so rapidly that no one had time to comprehend them. This strange and inexplicable turn of events makes us wonder just how little we know about our world and its hidden corners. And, as it turned out, this was only the beginning of a thrilling story about a mysterious place that disappeared just as quickly as it appeared. The mysteries of uninhabited land. On the enigmatic island where fate had cast James Harper, much was not as it seemed at first glance. Its absence from maps made it ghostly and almost mystical. When you approach uninhabited land, you expect to find traces of the past, abandoned buildings or remnants of human activity. But here there was nothing, only pristine nature, as if not a single human foot had ever set foot on these shores. James discovered that the island guarded its secrets very carefully. At first glance, the landscape looked friendly, with soft sandy beaches and tropical vegetation, but it concealed many secrets. When Harper began exploring the island, he discovered strange stone formations that were arranged too perfectly to be the result of a natural phenomenon. These were mysterious circles, reminiscent of ancient megaliths, but smaller in size. Without a single inscription or drawing, they only raised more questions. Even the island's fauna seemed unusual. James came across rare birds he had never seen before. They weren't afraid of humans, as if they had long been accustomed to their presence. In addition, hot water sprang from deep within the island, and its source could not be determined. A faint smell of sulfur hung in the air, giving the whole place an even more mysterious aura. With each passing day, James's stay on the island became more and more enigmatic. He felt that this place was full of secrets that were in no hurry to reveal themselves to him. However, the most astonishing thing was that the island seemed to remember its temporary inhabitant. All signs of strange phenomena disappeared as quickly as they appeared, leaving behind only a faint trace on the sands of time. Life in solitude. 5 years in unknown territory. On the island where James Harper spent 5 long years, a true challenge awaited him. The complete absence of civilization meant that every day was a struggle for survival. The first thing James did was build himself a shelter from whatever materials he could find, bamboo and palm leaves. His new home was far from the comfort he was used to, but it provided enough protection from tropical downpours and the scorching sun. Without tools or supplies, James caught fish and gathered fruit on his own, which he found in abundance on the island. It turned out that turtles lived on the island, and their eggs became an important source of protein. From time to time, he managed to catch crabs or sea urchins in the coastal waters. Every day, Harper would patrol the area, searching for possible means of rescue and staying alert to every detail. He stored up fresh water by collecting it in makeshift containers made from coconuts and leaving them out in the open to be filled with rainwater. Paradoxically, loneliness and isolation forced him to become observant and attentive to the smallest details. James learned to recognize the signs of nature, listening to the wind and rain to predict approaching storms or to find his way through the dense jungle. His existence turned into a series of trials, each demanding patience and resourcefulness. Months passed by, and he grew accustomed to solitude. But even in the hardest moments, James never lost hope of being rescued. The sight of ships on the horizon, even the most distant ones, became a reason to devise a new plan to attract attention. His entire world had shrunk to this island, which had become both his home and his prison at the same time. Rescue or coincidence? An incredible story of return. 5 years of captivity on an island that appeared on no map came to an end thanks to an unbelievable stroke of luck. One morning, as James Harper was watching the horizon, peering into the endless waters, he spotted a distant ship. It was a fishing schooner that had wandered into these waters in search of a rich catch. Realizing that this was the chance he had been waiting for all these years, James rushed to the shoreline. He set fire to the dry leaves and branches he had gathered in advance, creating a signal fire. Fortunately, the fishermen noticed the smoke and headed toward the island. When the schooner docked, the fishermen were stunned by his appearance. They could never have imagined that anyone could survive for so long on this deserted island. James could hardly believe that he had finally been rescued. He was emaciated, but incredibly determined to return to life. When he was taken aboard, James told his story, astonishing the fishermen with the resilience and endurance that had allowed him to survive. However, the most astonishing thing was that just a few days after the rescue, the island simply disappeared. Everyone who returned to that area found only open sea, not a single trace of the land that had sheltered James for so many years. This mystery made many people ponder the secrets of the ocean and its hidden corners. The question of how the island could have disappeared remains unanswered and still fascinates researchers and scientists. James's stay on this mysterious place and his incredible story of return forever changed our understanding of what lies beyond the horizon, the vanished island, a mystery that became reality. The island that became James Harper's temporary home after his rescue disappeared just as mysteriously as it had appeared. Everyone who tried to find this place again found only the endless expanse of the ocean, not a single stone or grain of sand, no sign that land had ever existed here. This phenomenon raised a number of questions among scientists and researchers. How could an entire island disappear without a trace? Where did all evidence of its existence go? One expert's theory was that the island was nothing more than an illusion, a possible mirage caused by a rare natural phenomenon. However, James, who had lived on it for 5 years, clearly could not have been deceived by a mirage for so long. His detailed descriptions of life on the island confirmed the reality of its existence. Whether this mysterious island had some special connection with underwater currents or tectonic processes remains a mystery. Perhaps the island was merely the outward manifestation of a hidden force of the ocean, which surfaces only for a short time. This suggests that there may be other similar places in the ocean that remain invisible to the human eye. Harper Island attracted the attention not only of scientists but also of ordinary people around the world. This story served as a reminder of how many unexplored mysteries the ocean still holds. Many people wonder how many more such islands might appear and disappear, remaining elusive to our maps and technologies. This case gives much to ponder, leaving people anticipating new discoveries and the unraveling of the ocean's mysteries. The mystery of the depths. What does the ocean really hide? After the astonishing disappearance of the island, the search for answers shifted to the ocean depths. Marine geologists and oceanographers began to study this area, trying to find any clues or explanations. The ocean is full of mysteries, and its depths conceal much that is unexplored. Expeditions were launched with the goal of mapping the seafloor. However, all the underwater images studied revealed no traces of sunken land or any anomalies in the seafloor's morphology. This led some researchers to suggest that the island might have been a geological phenomenon that formed and disappeared within a short period of time. Meanwhile, the ocean remained indifferent to human speculation. The immense amount of energy hidden in its depths could alter the landscape faster than we might think possible. Some scientists began to consider hypotheses about possible underground volcanic activity or underwater landslides that could explain the island's disappearance. Nevertheless, whatever caused the disappearance of this land, no instrument was able to detect any seismic anomalies in the area. James Harper, who became the main witness to this phenomenon, also continued to observe the unfolding events. He often spoke with scientists about life on the island. But even with all his stories, the solution remained out of reach. As humanity's technological capabilities grow, perhaps one day we will finally be able to track down these hidden forces of the ocean. For now, this case remains one of the most mysterious in history, highlighting how little we know about the land and the ocean, and how much there is still left to discover. Consequences. How will the mystery of the island change our understanding of the world? The story of James Harper and the vanished island has opened a new front for reflection and research, influencing many fields of science. Initially, it attracted the attention of geographers and oceanologists who tried to understand how an entire island could disappear without a trace. However, over time, interest in this case spread to broader scientific circles. Many researchers began to consider the possibility of anomalies that might be hidden in the ocean depths and remain undetected by modern technology. This idea sparked a wave of new research aimed at studying underwater phenomena that can suddenly appear and disappear. The mysterious disappearance of the island also led to discussions about our maps and sea routes. The maps we use to navigate the world were once again called into question. If an island could appear and disappear so quickly, how many other landmasses remain unaccounted for? This discovery could lead to significant changes in cartography and marine navigation. Another, no less important area affected by this story is survival in extreme conditions. James's story opened a new chapter in the study of human ability to adapt and survive in isolation. His methods and practices used on the island have become the subject of analysis which can be applied in a broader context, from training sailors to studying life on other planets. Finally, the widespread interest in this case has prompted a reassessment of some theoretical concepts regarding the interaction of natural forces and their impact on our planet. The mystery of the vanished island remains unsolved, but it has already changed our understanding of how dynamic and complex our world can be. Perhaps in the future we will not only be able to unravel this mystery, but also discover entirely new aspects of science and nature that we never even suspected before.